Hello, welcome back to another Sketchbook Time. Today I wanted to create an OC sketch spread. I planned this idea in this notebook that I had laying around with Brandon and Phelan. Brandon being the yapper and Phelan being the listener. Disclaimer, there's going to be a lot of jump cuts just because I'm a very slow sketcher. I'm not very good at talking, so everything might be all over the place. So I have been doing a lot of art studies, but we'll get into that later. Currently, my odd obsession has been drawing food, so hence Phelan eating a very juicy burger. But getting into the art studies, I've been practicing a lot off screen. I wake up, I do some art studies, and just before bed I do a little more. Then I'm pretty sure I can draw a lot of things from memory now. But ever since creating my two OCs, they've been all I've drawn now. I've been using them as a means to learn new perspectives and to do basic studies with. I don't think I've made a video on Brandon yet, but he is my demon OC. He's the youngest son in his family and also the only son to be a general. I should mention that Brandon and Phelan are not blood brothers. Brandon unofficially claims Phelan as his brother. But anyways, his design is still being fleshed out along with his lore. I've also been, trying to write a little story for them that will hopefully be turned into a comic series by next year. Anyways, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit just because I have no idea what else to talk about. So enjoy the rest of the sketching. I noticed the camera was dying, so while it was charging, I decided to make a little word background using the word yap everywhere, placing it everywhere in the background. A little disclaimer, the sketchbook is not very good for alcohol markers, so use at your own discretion. It does bleed pretty bad, but I used the protective sheet that came with the marker set. So right now I'm using what I learned from Gret Lusky, starting with the lighter color first and then adding in the darker colors, and using the colors in the same family to be able to blend and create a cohesive. I did not use any color pencils in this piece only because I forgot about it. But for Brandon's scar, I had to experiment with the color, so I used a darker tone blush and layered on the color until I was satisfied. Coloring the hand was probably one of the hardest for me, only because I was trying to get the form, but then I was also overthinking it, so I kind of made little mistakes here and there. I shaded a little too much, and now I'm having slightly regrets.
괜찮아. 괜찮아요. 괜찮아.
The clothes came out a little streaky because I went too fast, but it's okay. I have learned from it. I will try to work at a slower pace and layer it as much as I can. I tried my best not to make the same mistakes coloring in Phaelon, so I tried to work just a little more slower, but it still came out a little streaky, but that's okay. I think I just need to work on brush control, or pen control, I guess, and see if I can get it to saturate a little more by pressing harder. The brown I chose for Phaelon's hair was the wrong shade, but I kind of just went with it. His hair is actually a lighter brown color than a chocolate brown color. But we live and we learn. I'll keep this in mind when I create new pieces for them. I have made a mistake yet again. The color came out too dark, and I'm trying to quickly fix it and blend as much as possible, but we'll see. But it wasn't working out. I think the color I chose was just a little too dark for the greenish gray color that I chose for just the flat color of his shirt, but that's okay. I don't know. I'll do something. Okay, so I tried my best to find the closest colors that I could to achieve the color of the buns, but with acrylic it's just easier since I can paint over it. I'm trying to blend a yellowish brown and a burnt sienna color together to achieve the golden color. But I think it came out all right just by eyeballing colors. I think I'm going to do, say, some more studies on food and how to achieve a more slightly realistic color, I guess. The lettuce was probably the easiest for me. I mixed like 3 green colors. One of them was a lighter shade, one of them was a mid-tone, and then one of them was a darker one. Thought that was, you know. I'm throwing in some finishing touches before I start on the line art. I usually save the line work for the end because I have a horrible mindset of thinking my line work is going to save my piece without building contrast. I start off with outlining everything first before doing the extra detailing. But don't worry, I didn't forget his eyebrows, I promise. I'm going to color them in with the same shade of blue that is in his hair. I'm using this white Jelly Roll pen to add in some highlights now, just to give it a little pop. I think it turned out really good. as I'm watching this, as I edit, I'm going to critique myself a little bit. So future notes for me when I watch my videos again. Take a break and step back and look at the image as a whole. I realize that Brandon's hand is a little shaped weird, but I think it's mostly how I did the shading. I think if I shaded a little more, his hand would have turned out slightly better. I felt like the background was too plain, so I added in a pink color just to make everything pop. I'm going for a more messy look. So I really like how this turned out. I do wish I could have done some stuff differently, but I will definitely do a redraw of this one day in the future. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye!